let's talk and talk with Isha Melanin. Oh, let's talk and talk on Isha Melanin's Motivation Podcast. Let's talk.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk Motivational Podcast. I know what you're thinking. Isn't this the same outfit you wore last episode? Well, let me let you know I'm recording both episodes at the same time, so mind your own goddamn business. Yes, I wore this last week. I'm wearing it this week again. If that's the case, it doesn't matter to you. It matters to me. But anyway, the truth is, I am recording two episodes at the same time, just in case I don't have enough time to record extra episodes. But I had episodes, ideas, and I really wanted to do both of them. So I thought, why not? Anyway, moving on, if you listen to the previous podcasts, if you listen to the previous episodes of this season, you already know that this season is a little different. You know that we are spicing things up on this season. We're still growing. Obviously, we're still all about growth. We're still all about purpose. We're still about becoming better versions of ourselves with little motivation and hope. But we're also allowing ourselves to, laugh, relax, and not take life so seriously all the time. And in today's episode, it's very much in that spirit. These are unpopular opinions that I am willing to defend with my life. These opinions are mine. You don't have to agree, but I am willing to argue with you respectfully, obviously, respectfully. No fighting, no insults, just vibes and, just strong opinions. And here's a little disclaimer for all of you. If you disagree, that is okay. All right. If you don't agree, that's your own opinion. It's all my own opinion. But if you agree with me, you are my people. If you don't agree with me, it's okay. We all have our own opinions at the end of the day. No one's gonna hurt one or the other just because we don't agree. We don't see eye to eye. We're still gonna love each other at the end of the day. In this episode, if anything I say triggers you, please just take a deep breath. Not everything is serious. Anyway, let's get into the unpopular opinions. Okay, the first one is being busy is not a flex. Being busy doesn't necessarily mean that you are very creative, okay? And listen, this is coming from someone who always uses that term. I was just a little bit busy. Because there are times when you do get really busy. We understand that. But being busy all the time, let me tell you, it's not impressive. Sometimes it doesn't mean that you are productive. It just means that you don't know how to rest. Because, at the end of the day, rest is not laziness. It is not. Burning out is not a badge of honor. It doesn't make you like this superpower person, this person that's held on a pedestal. Like, no, it is not. So don't overwhelm yourself. Rest. Being busy all the time is not impressive. I believe that. So please find time and rest because it's important. I will always argue that peace is more valuable than pressure. All day, every day, all night long. Period. The next unpopular opinion is that texting is better than calls or voice notes. Texting is better than calls or voice notes. Let me know in the comment section. Which one do you think is better? Are you a call kind of person, or are you a text type of person, or are you a voice note type of person? So for me, I am a text type of person. I am a writer. You know that. So I prefer to be able to, because when I'm writing, I'm able to depict my emotions better than when I speak. So, and I realize that a lot of times when I speak, I get nervous, I get shy, I get nervous, and I don't necessarily know how to put the words together at the right time. I don't necessarily know how to explain myself better when I'm speaking. But when I'm writing, I have the opportunity when I'm writing a text. And that is why you see, if you know me, I'm good with writing long text. My friends will always complain, this one you're just writing long English text. Sometimes mix in a little Hausa, sometimes mix in a little voice note. Why are you always writing long text? I prefer it that way because I'm able to say everything that I want to say because I can go back, edit, check properly, check everything before I send it out. With a voice note, for me to be able to say everything, I would have to be taking pauses. I have to pause and be like, think. I'll be like, no, I shouldn't have said that. Or if I've already sent it, I'll be like, no, I shouldn't have said that. Stuff like that. But with a text, I can easily edit it and read through it, proofread it. Because if you're a writer, you know that proofreading is important. When you're writing novels, whatever it is you're printing out, whatever it is you're writing, proofreading is very important, right? For my writers out there. So I like to proofread. It's just me. So I prefer text. I don't know what you guys prefer, and I know people are out there willing to argue with me respectfully, to fight me respectfully over this, but I seriously believe that text is better. And but the question was calls or voice notes. I would prefer calls over voice notes because at the end of the day, if I am just going to send you a voice note, I would just rather just send you a message anyway. Because I would rather send you a message than send you a voice note. Therefore, if I actually have to hear your voice, if it reaches to a point that it's your voice that I want to hear, because if I'm listening to a voice, if I'm talking through my mouth, it means it's your voice that I want to hear directly. And voice note is not going to do that for me. Then it will be call. So if it's not call, if it's between call and voice note, then it's call for me. If it's between voice note and text, then it is text for me. It's just like I don't know. There's something about voice notes that I just can't. I don't know how to explain it. But this is me, and this is what I prefer. See, I would prefer to text over send a voice call, over calling you, over talking to you on the phone. But if it reaches to a point where it needs word to be spoken directly, then I would just rather call you. But I think the person that I send the most voice notes to is my mom, because I will write as long text explaining. She wouldn't understand what I'm saying until I tell her. And do you guys know what's funny? This one actually surprises people because the thing is, I'm a public speaker. I'm an MC. I talk a lot, right? I go out in public. I talk a lot, but I still prefer texting. So this confuses people a lot. Let me clarify. See, when you're performing, when you're invited to an event to talk, to present a paper, to speak publicly, you prepare. You write before, you proofread it. In fact, you try to remember all the things that you wrote so that you can go and say them, whether you are saying it with the paper or you're saying it paperless. You still have to write it down before. You have to go over it before and see whether it's okay to be talked about there. How long it takes, and you have to check timing and everything. You have to prepare. So you see, you understand the context of why I like texting better, because I just like to prepare and say everything how I want to say it. Like I like to, like, proofread, check, just perfect it. I'm not a perfectionist, right? I don't consider myself a perfectionist, but sometimes when it comes to text, I really want it to be perfectly sent. That's all I care about. Because another thing is another thing that contributes to it is that phone calls just feel a little bit too awkward for me. Voice notes stress me out. So texting just gives me time to think. It gives me time to choose my words wisely. It allows me to be creative. Like I said, I'm a writer. I like being able to edit and write, and check, proofread before I send something. I like clarity behind the intention. I like next opinion. Next unpopular opinion. You don't need closure to move on. This one I'll take a little bit personal. Because before, let me tell you, you see the episode I did, the very first episode I did this season, where I spoke about the lessons that I learned in 2025. This is kind of one of the lessons that I learned. Uh, Expecting closure to move on will just keep on bringing you back. That's what I learned. So you don't necessarily need closure to move on, is what I believe. You might believe differently, but for me and what I went through and the experience I went through, I was like, girl, you don't necessarily need closure. Like, the actions is enough closure for you. You don't need to communicate with this person for you in order for you to get closure from this person. Because not every not every situation will end with an explanation. Do you understand? Not everybody will apologize. Not everybody will let you know what you want to know from them. Because waiting for closure will kind of keep you connected and stuck longer than the situation itself. Do you understand? It will keep you going back. Like, as if you are it will just keep dragging you and sinking you in more and more. Because sometimes silence is just the closure you need. The silence is enough closure for you, because choosing peace should be a win for you at the end of the day. You feel me? You understand me? If you have another opinion based that is different from mine, respectfully mention it in the comment section. The next one is, everyone is not your friend, and that is okay. This is true. Not everyone is your friend, and that is okay, because not everyone is naturally meant to be close to you. Some people are just meant to be simple acquaintances. Some people are meant to be seasonal. Some people are just even meant to be familiar faces at the end of the day, and it's okay. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your life, your plans, and your emotions. Not everyone deserves that inner, no, that no one, not everyone needs to be in the know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my opinion. The next one is that you can love your family and still need boundaries. Mm. Okay, this is good. You can love your family and still need boundaries. This is unpopular, but it is kind of real. It is good to be close to people, but sometimes having boundaries, having a line between you and someone is very important. It's sometimes necessarily. All right, moving on. The next unpopular opinion. Motivation without discipline is just vibes. You know what? I agree with this one, because listen, when you're just having motivation, right? It's nice. It's like I've said it in a previous episode. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's adorable. It's cute. But then that's only when it actually shows up for you. You can have motivation, but not necessarily it will show up for you, because you need to have discipline for motivation to be motivation, because discipline is what will carry you on days that motivation will disappear. Because maybe your motivation is, let me say, Mr. Beast. You're like, oh, Mr. Beast lost so much weight in the last year, so I'm gonna lose weight. He's my motivation, and then maybe 6 months later, Mr. Beast gains a lot of weight, and then you're like, well, damn. Like the motivation obviously will disappear, because you're like, oh, you were my motivation. Now what will I do without you? So that shouldn't be just the motivation. You need discipline, because if you have discipline that carries you with that, you can be able to move forward with that motivation. Because if you wait until you feel like it to do something, you will delay your growth every single time. Because I'm talking from personal experience. So, like, for me to get up and record, I'll be like, I'll do it later. I don't feel like doing it right now. I don't feel like recording right now. And then it will keep building up to now later. And I keep procrastinating because I'm not feeling like it. Because I have the motivation was there, but there was no discipline for me. And that is why this year I decided to change the whole thing. And therefore, I incorporated discipline. Because of this, because of my own personal connection to this, I will argue this forever. And that's just it. So, what I want you guys to do now, with all the unpopular opinions that I mentioned, I want you guys to pause this episode for a second. Think about one unpopular opinion that you are willing to defend with confidence, whether you are agreeing with me or you are disagreeing with me. Let me know. Come back to the comment section and just let me know that. I want to see them. I want to interact with you. Maybe I might just discuss them on another episode again, based on you guys' comments and opinions. Anyway, if you agreed with me this episode, welcome to the club. If you disagreed with me, thank you for listening anyway. Thank you for listening. Anyway, this season is all about balance, it's all about growth, it's all about fun, it's all about reflection, it's all about real conversations. And I will talk to you guys in the next episode. As always, it's been your girl, Aisha, aka Isha Melanin. And with that, I will wrap up the episode. Bye. See you later.
Let's talk and talk with Isha Melanin. I say let's talk and talk on Isha Melanin YouTube podcast. You wanna learn something? Let's talk.